The most dangerous people I have ever met were also the kindest. That is not a contradiction. That is strategy. They could switch from warm to ice cold, from generous to immovable, in a single breath, without blinking. And you know what? People respected them, feared them a little, trusted them completely. Because they had range, they had options, they had power under control. You do not have that. You are stuck. Stuck at level 3 out of 10. Always nice. Always accommodating. Always small. And you think that makes you good. IT does not. IT makes you invisible. Worse than invisible. IT makes you a resource. Something people use and forget. A stepping stone. A doormat with a smile. Carl Jung said, the most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. You know why that is terrifying? Because when you accept yourself, you have to face the truth. The truth that you are capable of so much more. The truth that you choose to be weak. Not because you have to be, but because being weak feels safer than being powerful. And that truth burns. Here's what nobody told you. Authenticity without strength is not authenticity. IT is martyrdom. You are not being real. You are being a victim. And strength without authenticity, that is tyranny. That is the jerk, the bully, the fake alpha. You need both, power and truth. Teeth and a smile. The capacity to bite and the wisdom not to. Right now, you have neither. This video will show you 7 habits, not random habits. Strategic patterns. Tiny behaviors you do every single day that are programming the world to see you as less than you are. These are not about becoming mean. They are about becoming whole. About integrating what Carl Jung called your shadow, the dark half of your personality that you have been taught to fear and hide. But here is the thing. You cannot be a good person if you are not capable of being dangerous. Read that again. A rabbit does not choose to be gentle with the wolf. The rabbit has nitrogen monoxide choice. IT is just weak. True gentleness, true kindness, that comes from someone who could destroy you but chooses not to. That is power. That is respect. Machiavelli understood this 500 years ago. He said it's better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. But I will tell you something better. You can be both. You just need to stop giving away your power in the name of politeness. You need to stop bleeding status through. There's the 7 micro behaviors that you think make you professional. They do not. They make you prey. Before we begin, understand this. I am not going to tell you to be rude. I am not going to tell you to be selfish. I'm going to show you how to recalibrate. How to turn the volume dial from stuck at 3 to variable because the meta strategy is not to always be high status. IT is to control when you are and when you are not. Right now, you cannot control light. The situation controls you. Other people control you. Your fear controls you. Nietzsche said, "He who has a why can bear anyhow." Your why right now is survival. Do not make waves. Do not get rejected. Do not stand out. That is a why built on fear. And fear makes you shrink. I am going to give you a different why. Become someone who can protect what they love. Become someone who can say no nitrogen monoxide without guilt. Become someone who takes up the space they deserve. That why will make you expand. Let me tell you about 3 types of people. Maybe you will recognize yourself. Type 1. You apologize for existing. You smile when you are angry. You say yes when you mean nitrogen monoxide. You were taught that your needs are secondary. That taking up space is selfish. That conflict is the worst thing that could happen. So you make yourself small. You fold yourself into shapes that fit other people's comfort. And you call it kindness. IT is not kindness. IT is self-abandonment. Type 2. The over-explicable. You cannot just say no. You need to give a dissertation. A legal defense. 3 reasons and a backup plan. You think you are being thorough. You are actually signaling that you do not believe you have the right to your own boundaries. That you need permission from the jury to live your own life. And every time you over-explain, you hand people the ammunition to argue with you, to negotiate you down, to override you. Type 3. The self-saboteur. You make jokes about how bad you are at things. You downplay your wins. You point out your flaws before anyone else can. You think this makes you humble, relatable, safe. IT does not. IT makes you a liability. It pays people not to trust you with important things, because you already told them you are incompetent. Why would they believe otherwise? Which type are you? Maybe you are all 3. Maybe you switch, depending
on who is in the room. That is fine. We all do AT. But here is the problem. These are not personalities. These are trauma responses. And the
trauma responses made sense when you were 7 years old and powerless. They do not make sense now. Now they are just habits, unconscious patterns, running on autopilot. And they are costing you everything. Jordan Peterson talks about this. He says you are not one thing. You are a collection of different systems inside one body. The child who wants to be safe. The adult who wants to succeed. The animal who wants to survive. The soul who wants meaning. And all of them are fighting for control. The question is, which one are you feeding? Every time you apologize for something that is not your fault, you feed the child. Every time you smile when someone disrespects you, you feed the animal who is terrified of the bigger predator. Every time you say just before a sentence, you feed the part of you that believes you do not matter, and those parts get stronger. They take over, until the adult in you, the powerful, capable version, cannot even get a word in. Marcus Aurelius wrote this 2,000 years ago. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. But you gave that power away. You outsourced IT to your boss, who might get mad, to your friend who might feel hurt, to strangers on the internet who might judge you. You handed the remote control of your life to people who do not even know your last name. And now you wonder why you feel out of control. Here is what we are going to do. I am going to show you the 7 specific habits, not vague advice. Concrete behaviors. And for each one, I will show you 3 things. 1, why you do it. The psychological root. 2, what IT costs you. The hidden price. 3, how to replace I. Not delete I. Replace I. Because you cannot just stop a habit. You have to give your brain something else to do. But I need you to understand something before we go deeper. This will feel wrong. When you stop these habits, your nervous system will scream. IT will tell you that you are being rude. That you are being selfish. That something bad is about to happen. That feeling is not truth. That feeling is withdrawal. You are addicted to making yourself small. And like any addiction, quitting hurts before it heals. Sigmund Freud discovered something that most people do not want to hear. He said, we do not do things because we consciously choose them. We do things because our unconscious mind is running programs we installed years ago. Programs written by parents who meant well but got IT wrong. Teachers who needed control. A society that benefits when you stay quiet and compliant. Those programs are running right now, in this moment, telling you how to sit, how to speak, whether to finish this video or click away because it is making you uncomfortable. And discomfort is exactly where we need to go, because on the other side of discomfort is the person you are supposed to be, the integrated version, the one with the shadow and the light working together, not fighting, not hiding. Together. Arthur, Schopenhauer said we forfeit 3/4 of ourselves to be like other people. You have forfeited more than that. You have given away your voice, your boundaries, your right to take up space, and you got nothing in return. People do not love you more because you are small. They just use you more. Let us stop that. Right now. Starting with habit number 1. Habit number 1. The reflex apology. You walk into a room. Someone is standing in the doorway. They are in your way. And what do you say? Sorry, WHY. You did nothing wrong. They are blocking the path. But your mouth said sorry before your brain even processed the situation. This is not politeness. This is a threat response. You are a wolf showing your throat to the pack. Let me show you how deep this goes. A woman bumps into you on the subway. Your coffee spills on your shirt. And you say sorry. You apologize to the person who just ruined your shirt. WHY. Because somewhere in your nervous system, there is a program running. A program that says conflict is dangerous. So make yourself small. Apologize. Diffuse. Survive. This worked when you were 5 years old and the adults were giants. IT does not work now. Carl Jung called this the persona, the mask you wear to fit into society, the acceptable version of yourself. And your persona has learned that sorry is a magic word. It makes people less angry. It smooths things over. It buys you safety. But here is what Jung also said. The persona is a compromise between the individual and society. And if the compromise is too big, you lose yourself completely. Every time you say sorry for existing, you are choosing society's comfort over your own dignity. Here is the cost. When you apologize for things that are not your fault, you are training people's brains to see you as guilty, as beneath them, as someone who owes a debt just for taking up oxygen. And it compounds. If you say sorry 20 times a day for things like breathing too loud, or asking a question, or needing help, your sorry becomes worthless. IT loses all meaning. So when you actually make a mistake, a real error that hurt someone, and you apologize, they do not believe you. You already cried wolf 19 times today. Why should this time be different? You spent your apology currency on someone stepping on your foot. Now, when it matters, you are bankrupt. Robert Greene writes about this in the 48 Laws of Power. He says so much depends on reputation. Guard it with your life, but you are not guarding IT. You are handing it away. One sorry at a time, because every apology is an admission that you are the problem, that you are the inconvenience, that you should not be here. And people believe what you tell them about yourself, the replacement strategy. Flip the script. Do not apologize for a negative. Thank them for a positive. Instead of sorry. I'm late. Say thank you for waiting. Do you feel the shift? Sorry, I am late frames you as a failure who needs forgiveness. Thank you for waiting frames you as a person of value who is worth waiting for. And it frames them as generous for waiting. You just turned a power loss into a power exchange. Instead of sorry to bother you, say thank you for your time. Instead of sorry for the long email, say I appreciate your attention to detail. You are not being fake. You are being strategic. You are choosing words that do not bleed status. Words that place you on equal ground. Not below, not above. Equal. But here is the hard part. You have to retrain your mouth. Right now, your mouth is faster than your brain. The word sorry comes out before you even think. So you need a circuit breaker, a pause. When you feel the sorry coming, bite your tongue. Literally. Just for 1 second. In that 1 second, choose a different word. Thank you. Excuse me. Or nothing. Silence is better than submission. Habit number 2, the fear smile. Someone criticizes you unfairly. Your boss says something passive-aggressive. A stranger is rude to you in line. And what does your face do? IT smiles. A tight, nervous, plastic smile. You are not happy. You are terrified. But your face is lying. And everyone can see it. Nietzsche said, there is always some madness in love, but there is also always some reason in madness. Your smile is the madness. IT makes nitrogen monoxide sense. You are being attacked, and you are smiling. But there is reason in IT. The reason is survival. In evolutionary terms, when a smaller primate encounters a larger aggressive male, it grimaces. It pulls back its lips. It shows its teeth. Not to threaten. To say, I am harmless. Please, do not kill me. You are doing the same thing. When someone disrespects you and you smile, you are saying, I accept your dominance. I will not fight back. You are safe from me. And their brain, the primitive part, sees that smile and knows that you are weak, knows that they can do it again, knows that you will not protect yourself. Here is the psychology most people miss. When you smile during conflict, you create cognitive dissonance in the observer. They see your mouth smiling, but your eyes are afraid or angry. The two do not match, and mismatched signals make you look untrustworthy, unstable, weak. Weak. A leader's face matches the situation. If the situation is serious, the face is serious. If the situation is joyful, the face is joyful. Congruence is power. Think about the people you respect most. When they are in a tense moment, do they smile? No. They go neutral.com/. Still. Like a predator deciding whether to strike or walk away. That stillness is terrifying. Because it is unpredictable. It says I have options. I am choosing my response. I am not reacting. I am acting. Epictetus taught this to the Stoics. He said it is not what happens to you but how you react. That matters. Your smile is a reaction. Automatic, unconscious, out of your control. And anything you cannot control controls you. You need to take back your face. The replacement strategy. The deadpan reset. Next time someone says something disrespectful, do this. Relax every muscle in your face. Let your expression go completely neutral. Not angry. Not sad. Just blank. Look them in the eyes and do nothing. Say nothing. Let the silence stretch. This does something powerful. IT takes away the reward. They said something rude, expecting a reaction. Expecting you to flinch or smile or explain. You gave them nothing. A void. And that void makes them uncomfortable. They start to squirm. They stutter. They try to fill the silence. And in that moment, the power flips. They realize their attack did not land. They realize you are not playing the game they expected. Machiavelli said the first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. People choose their company based on how they are treated. If you smile when disrespected, you are telling the world that disrespectful people are welcome around you. Stop sending that signal. Your face is a billboard. Make sure it advertises the truth. Habit number 3, the explanation addiction. You get invited to something you do not want to do. You need to say nitrogen monoxide, but you cannot just say no. You launch into a story. I cannot come because my car is broken and my cat is sick, and honestly, I have been so stressed with this project and my mother is visiting and I just need to rest and maybe next time. You are doing what psychologists call JADE. Justify, argue, defend, explain. IT is a trauma response. IT comes from a childhood where nitrogen monoxide was not enough, where you had to build a legal case just to have a boundary, where your nitrogen monoxide needed approval from the jury, but you are not a child anymore. And the people you are explaining to are not your parents. They are your equals, and equals do not owe each other dissertations. Here is what happens when you over-explain. You hand people ammunition. If you say, I cannot help you move because I do not have a truck, they say, I rented one. Now you are trapped. If you say I am busy Tuesday, they say how about Wednesday? You turned a decision into a negotiation. You opened the door. And now they are walking through it. Jordan Peterson says this, you have to be a monster and then learn to control it. If you are not capable of cruelty, you are not a good person. You are just harmless. And harmless people get taken advantage of. Because everyone knows you will fold. Everyone knows if they push hard enough, you will explain yourself into a corner and say yes. The cost of over-explaining is this. IT signals guilt. When you give someone a list of reasons why you cannot do something, you are not being transparent. You are asking for permission. You are submitting evidence to the court and hoping they find you innocent. But you are not on trial. You do not need to be found innocent. You just need to make a choice and stand in IT. High-status people do not do this. A CEO does not write a 3-page email explaining why they cannot attend a meeting. They just decline. The president does not explain why they are too busy. They just are. And you know what happens? People respect IT. They might be disappointed, but they respect IT. Because the message is clear. My time is valuable. My decisions are final. I do not need your approval. But when you explain, the message is this. I do not believe I have the right to say no. So I am going to try to convince you that my reason is good enough. Please agree with me. Please let me off the hook. IT is weak, and weakness invites exploitation, the replacement strategy. The executive no. Give the refusal. Give one vague reason, at most. Then stop talking. I cannot make IT. I have a prior commitment. My schedule is full. That is IT nitrogen monoxide details. No explanation. Nitrogen monoxide apology. And here is the hardest part. Do not fill the silence that follows. That silence is where your dignity lies. In that silence, you are saying, my reason is my reason. I do not owe you access to my inner world. I am not asking for permission. I'm informing you of a decision I already made. And if they push, if they ask why, you repeat. Like I said, I have a commitment. That is all they need to know. Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Your reasons are inside events. They are yours. They belong to you. Stop giving away what is yours to people who have nitrogen monoxide right to IT. Your nitrogen monoxide is a complete sentence. Treat IT like one. But let me tell, you win to break this rule. Because this is not about being a robot. This is about having a dial. If you are saying nitrogen monoxide to someone you love, someone who has earned your trust, someone who has shown up for you, give them the real reason. Not because you owe IT. Because you choose to. That is intimacy. That is connection. The difference is this. You are giving it freely. not performing IT out of fear. Plato said the measure of a man is what he does with power. When you have the power to say nitrogen monoxide without explaining, and you choose to explain anyway, out of love, that is beautiful. That is generosity. But when you explain because you are afraid they will be mad, that is cowardice. Know the difference. One builds relationships. The other destroys you. Habit number 4. The validation question. You just explained something. A plan. An idea. A set of instructions. And then you asked, does that make sense? You think you are being considerate. Checking for understanding. You are not. You are undermining everything you just said. Let me break down what that question really means. Subtext 1. I am a terrible communicator, and I need to check if my words were coherent. Subtext 2. I think you might be too stupid to understand me, so I am checking. Subtext 3. Please tell me I did. Okay. Please validate me. All 3 subtexts destroy your credibility. Carl Jung said thinking is difficult. That is why most people judge. When you ask, does that make sense? You are inviting judgment. You are asking the other person to evaluate you, to grade you, to decide if you passed. You just placed them above you. You made them the authority, and you made yourself the student waiting for approval. Here is what happens in their brain. Before you ask that question, they were processing the information. Neutral. Engaged. Then you ask, does that make sense? Suddenly, they have to shift. They have to evaluate not just the content, but you. Are you competent? Are you confident? Do you know what you are talking about? And because you asked, the answer their brain gives is maybe not. Robert Greene says, always make those above you feel comfortably superior. In your desire to please and impress, do not go too far in displaying your talents. Or you might inspire fear and insecurity, but you are not trying to impress. You are trying to communicate. And when you ask, does that make sense? You are not displaying talent. You are displaying insecurity. And insecurity is repellent. Imagine a pilot coming on the intercom. We are going to experience turbulence, so I am taking us to a higher altitude. Does that make sense? You would panic. You would grip the armrest. Because a leader does not ask if their plan makes sense. A leader knows IT makes sense. A leader assumes competence and invites collaboration, not judgment. The replacement strategy. Delete the question. Assume you made sense. If you genuinely need feedback, flip the dynamic. Instead of do's that make sense, ask what questions do you have? What are your thoughts? How does that sound? See the difference? Does that make sense? Centers you and your insecurity. What questions do you have? Centers the task and their understanding. IT keeps you in the driver's seat. It treats them as a peer, not a judge. And it treats you as a guide, not a defendant. Arthur Schopenhauer said, the safest way to try to get what you want is to try to deserve what you want. You deserve to be heard. You deserve to be understood. Stop asking permission for what you already deserve. Trust your voice. If they do not understand, let them take the responsibility to ask. That is their job. Your job is to communicate clearly and move forward. Habit number 5. The compulsive yes. Say yes to everything. Every request. Every favor. Every invitation. Every extra project. You think being the go-to person makes you valuable. IT does not. IT makes you a utility. A tool. Something people use and put back in the drawer. Here's the brutal economics of IT supply and demand. If your time is infinite, if you always say yes, the value of your time drops to 0. Gold is valuable because it is rare. Air is vital, but it is free because IT is everywhere. You have become air. Necessary, maybe, but taken completely for granted. Said the individual has always had to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe. Your tribe is overwhelming you, because you let them. Every yes you give when you mean nitrogen monoxide is a brick you add to your own prison. And you are the one laying the bricks. Nobody is forcing you. You are doing this to yourself. Sigmund Freud called this reaction formation. You act the opposite of how you feel to avoid facing the feeling. You feel angry that someone asked you for the 5th favor this week. But you smile and say of course, because facing your anger is scarier than betraying yourself. So you betray yourself. Over and over. Until you do not even know what you actually want. Anymore, the cost of compulsive yes is this. Hidden resentment. You say yes with your mouth, but your soul screams nitromonoxy. And that dissonance rots you from the inside. You become bitter, passive-aggressive, exhausted, and people can smell IT. They can feel the fake enthusiasm, the forced smile, the resentment leaking through your words, and IT makes them uncomfortable, so they start to avoid you. Not because you said no, because you said yes when you met nitrogen monoxide, and everyone could tell. Here is the deeper cost. When you never say nitrogen monoxide, you teach people that your needs do not exist, that you are an NPC, a non-player character in their video game. Just standing, they're waiting to help them on their quest. You have nitrogen monoxide main quest of your own, nitrogen monoxide mission, nitrogen monoxide direction. You are just a resource to be mined, and people will mine you until there is nothing left. Jordan Peterson says you need to be a monster, an integrated monster, someone who is capable of terrible things, but chooses good. If you are not capable of saying nitrogen monoxide, if you are not capable of conflict, if you are not capable of disappointing people, you are not good. You are just weak, and weak people do not get respect. They get pity. Oh, or worse, they get ignored. The replacement strategy. Manufactured scarcity. Even if you are free, do not always be available. Pause before you agree. Let me check my schedule and get back to you. That one sentence buys you power. IT signals that your time is accounted for, that you have a life, that you have priorities. And when you do say do not apologize. Do not explain. Just decline. I cannot do that right now. I am focused on other commitments. That works for some people, but not for me. Short, clear, final. Then stop talking. Let them process it. Let them be disappointed. Their disappointment is not your emergency. Here is the secret. People respect boundaries more than they respect compliance. Think about the people you respect most. Are they the ones who bend over backward for everyone? Or are they the ones who have a clear mission and protect their time fiercely? The person who says, I cannot do that, I am focused on X, is seen as high value. The person who says sure to everything is seen as directionless. But here is when to say yes. When IT aligns with your mission, WHEN, IT serves your growth. When it is for someone who has earned your loyalty, then say yes with your whole chest. Say yes enthusiastically. Say yes and mean IT. Because that yes has weight. IT has value. IT matters. But if you say yes to everything, your yes means nothing. Epictetus said if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. People will be mad when you start saying nitrogen monoxide. They will call you selfish. They will say you changed. Good. You did change. You stopped being a doormat. Them be mad their anger is proof that you were useful to them. And now you are not. That is not your problem. That is theirs. Habit number 6. The just virus. Look at your messages. Look at your emails. Count how many times you used the word just. I just wanted to check in. I just have a quick question. I am just following up. This tiny word is destroying you. It is a verbal tick that signals I know I am annoying you, so I am making myself smaller so you do not get mad. Linguists call this hedging. IT is a protective shield. You use IT because you are terrified of your own authority. You do not believe you have the right to ask, so you minimize. You shrink the request down to microscopic size, hoping it slips through unnoticed. But here's what actually happens. When you minimize your request, people minimize you. Arthur Schopenhauer said, "A man can be himself only so long as he is alone. If he does not love solitude, he will not love freedom. For it is only when he is alone that he is really free." You are not free. You are enslaved to other people's potential reactions. So you hedge. You add just and maybe, and sort of, and kind of. You wrap your words in bubble wrap, and you wonder why nobody takes you seriously. Here is the psychology. When you say, "I just wanted to ask," you are framing your need as a burden before the other person even hears it. You are apologizing for existing, and their brain picks up on that. IT says, "This person does not even believe in what they are saying. Why should I?" If a surgeon said, "I am just going to sort of try to fix your heart," you would run. You want certainty. You want confidence. When you hedge, you create uncertainty. And uncertainty feels dangerous. People do not trust hedgers. They trust people who speak with clarity, with conviction, even if they are wrong. At least they believe it, Machiavelli said. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. When you say just, you appear uncertain, weak, apologetic, and people respond to appearance. They do not have time to dig deeper, so they see the hedge and they categorize you. Low priority, not important, can wait. The replacement strategy, the just detox. For 7 days, delete the word just from every message before you send it. IT will feel harsh. IT will feel rude. You will type, "I am checking in on the report," and your brain will scream too aggressive. Adjust. Do not resist. Send IT anyway. "I am checking in on the report" is not rude. IT is clear. "I have a question" is not demanding. IT is a fact. I need your feedback. By Friday, it's not bossy, it is a boundary. Leaders do not just want things. They need things. They require things. They expect things. And they say it without apology. But here is the nuance. You can be clear and warm. You can say, "I am checking in on the report. Hope your week is going well." See. No just, but also not cold. You removed the hedge, but you added humanity. That is the balance. Direct words, warm tone. That is power with connection. Habit number 7. The self-roast ritual. You make fun of yourself. "I am such a mess. I am terrible at this. I always mess things up." You think it makes you relatable, humble, likable. IT does not. IT makes you a liability. Here is why. Confirmation bias. Once you label yourself, people filter everything you do through that label. You say, "I am disorganized." Then you drop a pen. They think, "See, he is a mess." You do something brilliant. They ignore IT. It does not fit the label. You are actively marketing your own incompetence. Stop doing the enemy's work for them. Carl Jung said people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul. Self-deprecation is avoidance. You insult yourself before others can. You lower expectations. Before you fail, you protect yourself from disappointment by disappointing yourself first. IT is a defense mechanism, and IT is destroying you. When you say, "I look terrible today," you force the listener to disagree. You trap them. They have to say nitrogen monoxide, you look fine. You are fishing for validation. An IT is exhausting to be around. Eventually, people stop disagreeing. Eventually, they just nod. And that is the day your reputation dies. The replacement strategy. Separate behavior from identity. I made an error is fine. I'm stupid is not. Own mistakes. Fix them. Move on. Do not turn them into character traits. And if you want to be humble, highlight others, not by debasing yourself. True humility is thinking of yourself less, not thinking less of yourself. This is mind plicht. Integrate your shadow. Reclaim your power. Become whole.